Welcome to I Feel Like Roasting, the show where we roast, but only to medium rare. I am your host, Kevin McCarthy, and this is episode 4, where we will be roasting Harvey Weinstein. Now, Harvey Weinstein claims he is a forgotten man in his New York Times interview here. Where do you start with this one? I mean, it seems like a layup roast. You know, you wouldn't roast a Thanksgiving turkey when it's already been roasted for 25 million times. You know, but this is a special turkey right here, and it deserves to be roasted at least one more time before its final roast in the court system next year. I try to write that, you know, really dramatic and stuff, but, you know, it's kind of stupid, sorry. All right, so Harvey Weinstein feels like a forgotten man. Well, how do you think those, I've heard dozens, but I hear the accurate number is about 80 women or more he sexually assaulted in total. And that's only so far, too, keep in mind. You know, he's already got money set aside for that. So how do you think those 80-plus women felt after you made them give you oral sex or whatever with your gross body, forcing it upon them, forcing yourself upon them when there's nothing they can do about it? I mean, I don't know what's harder to recover from, actually having sex with Harvey Weinstein or the fact that you were forced to do it. I mean, it's probably pretty close. I'd have PTSD from both. He's just so ugly you could get an alcoholic to quit drinking forever if they woke up in his bed in the morning and found out they willingly had sex with Harvey Weinstein. They'd be like, oh, okay, I gotta make serious changes in my life. You know, it's time. I've hit rock bottom and I need to make these serious changes now. And they would. So, I mean, that's good. Now, all of these are jokes, completely jokes. You know, he's an ugly man, but it's way worse that you are forced to have sex with someone. I mean, I think rape is literally the worst thing you could physically do to someone, right under murder, obviously, but right under murder. So there's nothing that comes close to that in my mind. I mean, forcing someone to do something they do not want to do and it hurts them mentally or physically is the worst thing that you could do to someone besides kill them. That's it. You know, sex trafficking, forced or underage prostitution, you know, that's why slavery was so bad. It's just taking away your freedom of rights, you know, forcing you to do something that's going to harm you or someone else. I mean, it's the worst thing to do. That's why I think rape and sexual assault should be punished in court directly under murder. Whatever the murder years are in prison, I mean, rape and anything you force people to do, that should be right under there in years, a couple years less. In Harvey's criminal case, you know, I'm almost certain, you know, he will rot in prison until the day he dies, so he'll get exactly what he deserves and what's coming for him. So, you know, I'm not too worried. The only thing that would worry me is that he can get the best lawyers money can buy. He shouldn't get credit for any of his movies, not even a drop of sympathy. He's trying to convince us he's a victim or something. I mean, he's not a victim in the least. He could obviously never get a girl legitimately with his looks or personality his whole life. So, I mean, I'm sure he's been doing this using his richness and power to get women for decades and decades now. Even if a girl tried to tell on him before, nobody would listen to her or believe her. They'd call her a liar. Once he heard that she was telling on him, I mean, I'm sure he would make sure she never got another movie role in Hollywood or anywhere in the country for that matter. So wouldn't you say they were a forgotten actress in Hollywood? You know, wouldn't they be a little forgotten? I think you could say exactly that. They would have felt forgotten when, you know, no agents, no casting agencies, movie studios, nobody returns her calls anymore, or she can't get auditions or do anything to feed herself because she told the truth about something you forced her to do, and she was called a liar and banned from Hollywood. That's why I think it's funny that he used that terminology. I mean, so maybe he knows now what it feels like to be forgotten. Not nearly enough, because, I mean, if it were up to me, it would have been caught 20 years ago and spent, you know, some real time in jail. Really the rest of his life now, with the way he looks, might not be there too long. He's trying to say that his company was the first company 30 years ago and only movie company to employ females in large, you know, feature roles, leading roles, and as directors. You know, he actually said he was a female advocate, like he did something to actually help women in Hollywood. The words literally came out of his mouth. I just read that and I'm like, are you kidding me? I mean, that's like Hitler saying he's a Jewish advocate. That's like the leader of the Ku Klux Klan announcing he thinks he's an advocate for African American civil rights. And that's like Trump saying he's an advocate for Mexico's right to immigrate to the United States. And I think it couldn't get farther from the truth, that statement. Especially 30 years ago when women's rights weren't what they were today and he could really get away with everything. You know, there was no Me Too movement. There was, you know, nothing to catch a guy like that. So, I mean, he could do whatever he wanted back then and they would never be believed, you know. So if you thought he was doing, if he thought he's doing women a favor nowadays and could force sex upon them, you know, imagine how it was 10, 20, 30 years ago. This man was probably brutal. He's a psychotic maniac. I mean, he probably did that to almost every single woman he could. Every single woman. He got an acting role, a directing role. If you were holding a fucking light on the set, you were delivering coffee, I'm sure he tried to force himself on you because he's just that much of a psycho in my mind. A guy like that, you know, doesn't just get sick today. He's been a sicko his whole fucking life. From the looks of him, he's probably never had consensual sex with a woman in his entire life. I mean, look at him. Can you imagine literally any woman on earth saying, man, I really want to have sex with that guy over there, Harvey Weinstein? He's so fucking hot. I mean, just saying his name gets me hot. Just looking at him, a rise comes out of my body. No woman has ever fucking said that. Me saying that now just made me literally sick to my stomach. And me saying that now was literally the first time that sentence has ever been said out loud by any human being's mouth. Anything exactly like that or even close to it, that's the first time it's been said. He says he doesn't want to be forgotten. Well, I mean, unfortunately, he won't be forgotten. He'll be remembered for a very, very long time as a sick, psycho, piece of living, breathing dog shit. A sexual predator who raped and sexually assaulted probably hundreds and hundreds of women, you know, who just wanted to make it in Hollywood. I applaud their dedication to making it because I don't care how big, you know, the role is. If that guy takes his clothes off while I'm kneeled down in front of him, I will puke on his dick. I will, and that'll be the fucking end of that. I mean, he'll probably want to keep going. He's probably used to that by now, so he probably, you know, wouldn't want to stop after that, but I'd already be running out of the door. He'd just hear the door shut. And if I didn't, like, want to cause physical violence and, like, chop his dick off or something, he'd just hear the door shut. I'd just run away. But yeah, he'll always be remembered, and hopefully will always be as the sick sexual predator rapist that he has always been. And that's all he should be remembered as. I mean, his movies, you know, he didn't write them, he didn't direct them, act in them, he didn't do lighting, audio, editing. He didn't do a fucking thing. He didn't do the fucking craft services. He did nothing besides be a really rich guy and write a check to bankroll the movie and write another check anytime they needed more money. And that's it, you know. As long as he could read and write, and I bet he barely can, that's all he had to do. Write a check and own the studio, which I'm sure was probably passed down from his father and generations of wealth before him. So, I mean, guys like him and Trump have usually been rich their whole life, so they think they're better than literally every other person on earth, and they develop this thought process that they can do whatever they want to people and say whatever they want to people, especially the opposite sex, and they think no one can tell them no matter what. They need to get everything their way and they'll do anything to get it, and that's it, and they should never be punished. And guys like that, like, need to be beat the fuck up. Like, literally, they need to be put in jail right away and just beat the fuck up every single day. Just for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Like, you know, oh, it's for dinner tonight. I'm beating you the fuck up again. That's what's for dinner. I mean, he actually feels so entitled. He's going for the sympathy card with this new injury here. I mean, nobody believes you. Nobody feels sorry for you. You're no victim. I mean, you could tell he's faking that shit. It was literally like 2 weeks ago, and he was fine, and now all of a sudden he has this walker and can barely walk and is hunched over and all that shit. I mean, people have seen him without it from time to time, so he's clearly faking it. But I mean, no one gets a debilitating disease in like a week just randomly when they have a court trial. All of a sudden they go from a normal walking guy to like a hunched over 85-year-old. Like they aged 25 years overnight. No, you're trying to, you know, get some sympathy play here, but it's not going to work. No one should feel sorry for you in the world. I hope there's no one that does. Even though you have to pay the women $25 million, and another $13 million is already put aside, hilariously, for future accusers. There's already $13 million ready to go because they know there'll be future. There's more people he raped and didn't think so. There's more, and they know it. So they're like, we might as well just keep another $13 million to the side. Just get ready, because they're going to be coming in. So I raped a lot of women. You better save at least $13 million there extra. You know, you don't got any more? We might need some more than that. I mean, it's terrible, you know. The insurance company's paying for him. It's like he gets no accountability. If they're going to throw Bill Cosby in jail, they better throw Harvey Weinstein in jail. And I know they will, and he'll spend the rest of his life in jail. So the way he looks now with this new deadly disease he caught overnight, you know, he may only be in jail for a week. Who knows? It looks like he may, so his court case is January 6th. So his sentencing is January 6th, so we'll know how long he goes to prison for then, you know, and he will rot in jail until he does die, whether it's 2 weeks or 20 years. I mean, hopefully it's not just from some disease. Hopefully it's from some guy in prison for like the millionth time, and this time it was just way whatever comes up next. It broke some organs, you know, it smashed. Hopefully it just damages all those organs, you know. Mushes them all up nice. Man, that got a little aggressive, guys. Sorry, that's a little much. I'm not a fan of Harvey Weinstein. I hate people like that use they think they're so rich and powerful they can do whatever they want to people, and you know, there's nothing that'll ever happen to them. The worst kind of person. I just despise it. So this one kind of turned into like a real roast, a personal roast, but usually they'll be more joyous and carefree and just straight fun. So we'll get back to that tomorrow. We got some more roasts on deck. I don't know, I think I'm doing Britney Spears tomorrow. Maybe MGK, Machine Gun Kelly. I'm not sure. We'll see where I take it. But thank you for watching. I feel like roasting. I'm really liking the way this is going here. If I don't get canceled, or kicked off YouTube, I guess it'd be. If I don't get kicked off YouTube for this show, we'll be back tomorrow. Please like, comment, and subscribe to the channel. We're going to have videos every single day, so hit that notification bell so you don't miss out. I'm Kevin KMACC McCarthy. This is I Feel Like Roasting. Peace, guys. Have a great day.